This man here goes by the YouTube name of Seektruth Speaktruth, and last month he made this video in which he declared that the globe was dead. Now, I made a response video on my Baldy catz channel, and I've linked that video in the description. But little did I know, at the time of me making that video, Seektruth Speaktruth was already having doubts about his flat earth claims. Now, this man is no longer a flat earther, and he has agreed to speak to me about his experiences in flat earth, why he entered flat earth, why he left flat earth, and what he aims to do on his own channel now in order to stop people falling down the same rabbit hole. Now, I've linked his channel in the description, and I would urge anybody in this online community to subscribe to him, because I think that the voice of somebody who's been in his position is the exact voice we need to stop other people from also falling victim to these online con men. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Here it is. Right, so first of all, listen, I just want to say thank you very much for coming and doing this, because at the minute you're a man in demand. You know, I think you've generated quite a bit of publicity. So thank you very much, mate, for coming on and doing this. How are you feeling?
Good, mate, good, yeah. Obviously, like I say, a little bit torn, if you know what I mean, at the minute, really. But I can't just, you know, this isn't the end of it, basically. You know, I've got to carry on now. But yeah, you know, I'm going back to the very beginning again, and just trying to look at things at least from two sides rather than just one, if you know what I mean.
Well, like I said in the introduction that's just gone, I've put your channel link in the description, and I'll definitely be watching, you know, the progress and the journey you make. And I urge anyone else who's watching this, if they've missed that in the introduction, you know, go and click on that link. But I've got 10 questions. I don't expect this to last too long, just so people can get to know you, so I can get to know you, you know. Let's just start, shall we? Question 1. How long did it take you to transition into flat earth? Because I assume, you know, obviously you're a grown man, etc., and you'll have spent the bulk of your life not being a flat earther. So how long did it take to just, you know, go into that?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose I was probably about 30 when I started looking into it, and it took, I don't know, it was quite a long transition for me. Or what I would call long, probably about a month, 6 weeks. I watched a lot of content, and just it engulfed me basically. And yeah, I just kind of sort of delved right in the deep end, I suppose. I think it was the 200 proofs of a spinning ball popped up randomly as a recommended video, and just sat there and. Yeah, I feel sort of like basically just hypnotised by it, I suppose. Just completely overlooking any facts that I had known and accepted before, and suddenly just went down this path of complete denial, you know. But that was just me personally. I didn't really tell anyone else, family or friends or otherwise, probably for about 6 months, I'd say. And then when I sort of realised actually there's quite a big community out there, not maybe locally to me, but sort of certainly on the internet. There's people you can talk to, and yeah, I kind of found those groups, and then suddenly obviously was talking and interacting with them, and then kind of I gained the confidence to bring it out to my friends and family. Yeah, basically.
Well, what you said there, you know, about the 200 proofs, you know, I mean, Eric DeBay does have that very. I mean, I find it quite monotonic and irritating, but I know a lot of people do find his voice quite hypnotic, you know, and you can get into it and, you know, or you get absorbed into it, you know, so I can fully understand, you know, like being absorbed into a video like that and going on. But that does bring me to the next point then. If you're doing your research and you're going to leave everything you've known or believed and go into something like flat earth, what did your research kind of like... involved, you know, was it just sort of like flat earth videos, or did you go and try and educate yourself, like to try and almost debunk the flat earth, you know, how did you carry out that research?
I don't know, I think early on you're kind of made in this mindset of distrusting anything of authority, whether that comes from like universities or some of the big YouTube channels that, you know, do science-based things, and you instantly sort of feel distrusting of them. So you kind of feel like, well, what's the point of me even looking? Because I know they're all lying. I'm going to just watch the people that are telling the truth, if you know what I mean. So fairly quickly, I did stop even really looking into the other side of the argument, if you know what I mean. And that probably is the worst mistake I could have made, if you know what I mean. Because it was just such that quick acceptance where, you know, really we should always look at two sides of the argument, and very, very thoroughly. And what I've now realised is, you know, we can trust the people around us. You know, you do at a certain level have to accept that 1,000 scientists, if they all have the same conclusion, are probably right, you know, and they love disproving each other wrong and things like that. But if there's a massive consensus all going to the same place, I feel like unless you have gone, you know, and studied it within a university and things, you've got to at least talk to people that have. And, you know, they're not con artists. And I used to say they were, like, oh, you're just defending your degree and you've been indoctrinated by it and all of this stuff, when really I was the indoctrinated one. It's kind of twisted. Everything's twisted in reverse. That's how I felt with it.
Yeah, well, like that theme of distrusting anyone in authority or anyone from academia, you know, it's massive, you know, isn't it, throughout Flat Earth? And actually, some of the questions I've got later on really touch on that kind of like distrust side and how it affects your life. So it's a good point, but I'll pick up on that later on.
Cool.
For now, we'll stay with that YouTube side of it. So you've obviously looked at a lot of YouTube Flat Earthers, Eric Dubay you've mentioned, etc.
Yeah.
Now, when you look back at some of the YouTube channels you're watching, what do you think of those people? Do you think that those people are kind of innocent, doing what you were doing, researching, believing, and then reproducing the content? Or do you think, and I'm kind of thinking of people like Nathan Oakley here now, you know, do you think that there's a more sinister, money-making, trolling side to them? Or is there a split? What's your opinion on that?
I think people probably at one point definitely believed it was flat, and they got to the point really where maybe their channels got so big, and it, you know, it's easy to slip into an egotistical state of guru-like, oh, you know, they live in Phuket or Thailand, or do you know what I mean? Like, so they think they're, you know, the new saint basically, and it must be hard for them to actually turn back round. But I do believe, say, Nathan Oakley, Eric Dubay, they know that we're living on a sphere, and that's got to the point where they're just making so much money out of it now, and they're minor celebrities in their world. And I got caught in that trap as well, and just basically started spreading their mass information for them, you know. But yeah, channels like mine, definitely not, you know. I'm glad I hadn't got that far, to be honest, and that was what I was pushing for. I wanted to be an Eric Dubay, you know, but I'm kind of glad you caught me before I got there, because I do know how difficult it would have been, because it was for me now. You know, I did have Eric Dubay's support. He shared me on his, I think it's called IFA's website and things like that, and I'll go and subscribe to this guy, he's got great content, and, you know, it just made me feel so special. So even just to turn my back, like, even my girlfriend used to joke, going, oh, like, you know, Eric Dubey's messaged you again, is he? And, I used to be like, I've got goose pimples, babe, I can't believe it. Like, you know, and it was just that ridiculousness of putting this man on a you know, a pedestal up here.
Yep, we've lost you.
Hello, mate.
You're back again. You went for about 10 seconds. So go on. So you're saying Eric Dubay, you know, on a pedestal up there?
Yeah, so just like I had him up on a pedestal, and he's a con artist, and that's what all of them are. Mark Sargent, there's a lot of talk about shills, things like that, and I used to call Mark Sargent a shill, but now I know they all are, you know, but they're shills as in they're just charlatans and con artists making money and loving the fame they're getting from it, really. But I think it's criminal. It is actually a criminal act now. You know, I do feel quite angry at him, to be honest, and that's why I'm here.
No, I agree with that. You know, and when I look at channels like yours, and there's lots of channels like yours, I do see somebody who is asking genuine questions and trying to figure out, you know, genuine truth. But then I can also see the people who are feeding one side of the story to you. You know, your Nathan Oakleys, your Eric Dubays, your Jerianisms, your Globusters. And those people, they do know, but, you know, you can't be in Flat Earth for as long as they've been in it and have the intelligence that they've got and not understand the argument, you know, to still be asking silly questions like, why can't water stick to a ball if I pour water over it? You know, you can't still be asking that questions and be serious when you've got some intelligence, you know, and it is criminal.
I think Dale is another one. He's got this massive following, and you know, he's going through stuff that really you learn in year 2 and 3. But people say about the indoctrination, but I know it's sad to say, but I think it's just we don't understand enough. Of course, you're not going to be able to bend water in a plastic bottle. I mean, what is he doing? Literally, and he's got these massive fans and think he's some newfound scientist. But he knows the Earth's flat. He knows the Earth's flat. No, he knows the Earth's a sphere. Sorry, I'm still in the mindset of saying the Earth's flat. No, he knows the Earth's a sphere. Do you know what I mean? Like, he definitely does. You can't. Some of the stuff they talk about, and I think he is an intelligent man, but is also very manipulative, obviously, and he knows how to manipulate people quite easily.
Well, he's very selective about the things he will and won't talk about. You know, I've seen him debate, and you know, when people have asked him stuff like, well, go on, can you explain to me how we get eclipses? Can you explain to me moon phases? Can you explain even like day and night, or why things disappear from the bottom up? I think I asked him that in the chat. You know, why does something disappear from the bottom up in the distance? And he literally just said on the stream, don't ask me stupid questions. You know, you asking a question like that, and you're ignoring the fact that we've got spherical eyeballs. And that was it. That's as far as he go. And then he shut it down. It's like, oh, okay, that's a great explanation. Well done. You know, but he knows what he will and won't talk about, and he won't talk about anything that requires an explanation about flat Earth. You know.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next question. Oh, sorry. Go on. You've got something to say.
No. That's fine. That's fine. Carry on, buddy.
So the next one then, like you've obviously done all that research. Over a period of time, and you're going for flat Earth. And if you were in a position where you were going to debate someone or try and convince someone, what would have been your number one? What was the one thing that got you more than anything else about flat Earth?
I think personally it was probably the rotation and like the non sort of feeling of it. Do you know what I mean? Like how very early on people will say, listen to your senses. Use your eyes, and you know, you would be able to feel this spin. And if again, these are the sort of thoughts you have as a child, and are quickly and easily explained by science. But unfortunately, obviously, it isn't explained to the depth enough, maybe in high school. So it can maybe leave a question or two, if you know what I mean. And then when you get a bit older, you know, because to be honest, I personally forgot most of the stuff I learned in school, and a lot of people probably do, unless you still act in your field, you know, using what you've learned. You know, I got a B in French, but you know, I can't really speak French anymore. Do you know what I mean? So you lose what you learn, and then someone else comes along and kind of fills those gaps for you again. And I think that's how it goes, really.
Well, I mean, that point you made about how prepared you are at school. I am a science teacher, that's my job. And for example, the argument about feeling the Earth spin, and obviously the answer to that is we spin half as fast as the hour hand on a clock. You know, we don't feel the spin, you know, but we don't actually teach the difference between angular velocity. Well, we don't teach angular velocity really until we get to A level. And there's only a very small percentage of kids who do A level physics. And if I ask my year 10 or 11 kids now to explain angular velocity, or explain why we don't feel the spin, they wouldn't get it, and they'll leave, you know, and when they, you know, 10, 15 years down the line, that question might catch them off guard. And the whole sort of entropy argument Nathan Oakley uses about why we should have an atmosphere next to the vacuum of space, or why we shouldn't have an atmosphere next to the vacuum of space. You know, thermodynamics is high-level stuff. You touched on that in your chemistry at A-level, but again, it's only a small number of people, so a lot of the arguments they target are stuff that, you're right, we're not prepared to answer at school. And it does take, they are counterintuitive, and it does take research. And I found that even as a science teacher, when I got into the whole anti-flat Earth stuff, a lot of the arguments, I was like, I'd never expected you to say that. You know what I mean? Like, geez, you know, they really come from left field, don't they?
Yeah, that is it. I mean, and they know that they are questions that are difficult to answer, if you know what I mean, and very, very easy to kind of just, unless you do understand that high level stuff, just dismiss it, because obviously by that point already, you already are in denial of all science anyway. So any explanation that comes your way, it just, you won't accept it anyway, and I was literally on my page, people would be showing me now, like, now I will look into it, but I wouldn't even click on links, and I'd got to that point where, and I'd just say, oh, yeah, no, I didn't even end up watching half the videos by the end because I was so adamant of what I believed that, I'd closed my mind to it, So, yeah, I mean, luckily, obviously, you sort of came along and helped me out, but, yeah, it's a closed-mindedness, and that's not what the world's about, and we should all be quite open-minded, and, you start that thinking you're open-minded, but then you close your mind to it, but, we will never know, like, the full truth of everything, but, we do just have to just accept things sometimes like that,
Yeah, and that's the beauty of science. Is we are never going to, certainly not in our lifetimes, we're not going to know everything at all, but we can find out the next thing and the thing after that, and we can build on what we know. But something you said before, I just want to get out, I mean, you've said there twice that I've helped you out, whatever, but it's not me at all. Nobody can change somebody's mind apart from that individual. You can change your own mind, and you have weighed up both sides of the story, and you've made your own decision. And I know you thanked a lot of people in the last video you did on your channel, which is the one linked in the description, by the way, who've give you tips along the way. But it's you who's made that decision. Absolutely, you've weighed up both sides. And I think that probably puts you aside from a lot of other flat earthers, that you've been willing to actually say, okay, right, let's just analyse both bits, and you've had that honesty to do it. Yeah,
it is. I mean, it's a power trip, I think, but it's psychological. It has to be, because there are no facts that support flat Earth. There is none. So, to be at that point of denial, it's a psychological factor. I will call it brainwashing. And I think you do maybe have to be in a certain place or frame of mind at the time to go there. It's a. Oh, can we start that one again? I rambled, dude.
Of course you can. What was the question I asked? I can't remember. Now, at this point, we both had a bit of a laugh because neither of us could remember what we were actually talking about at the time. And so I've cut this little bit out because you don't want to see me fiddling about with OBS and my questions for the next minute and a half. While I was doing that, we did have a little bit of a chat about why it's important, or so important, he gets his message out. And that's where I'm going to cut back in.
So, yeah, we got to get this out there, man, haven't we?
I think so. And I'll probably cut back in after you've said that. In fact, I'll leave this bit in where I'm saying I'll cut back in. Like I said, I think it is important that we do get like what you've got to say out there, because there will be other people in your position. We're never going to convince the Nathan Thompsons, Nathan Oakleys, Jerryisms, because they're too invested in it. But the people who are listening to them, who are honest like you, might watch what you've got to say and think, oh, okay, so it is important, which is why I'm not going to apologise again for saying, click on the link to your channel in the description, because what you've got to say is so much more important than I can point and I can laugh at stuff and do the odd educational video, but I'm never going to have the emotional, how can I put it, value or the emotional respect. I've just made that term up, fuck it. that you've got, you know what I mean, from other flat earthers,
because like I say, because I was there, so I understand, like, it's enjoyable, and especially sometimes, people, keyboard warriors, they'll just defend anything, won't they? And that once they've got to that point, say if you work in a job, you might hate your job, but if a customer's rude about the company, you'll defend the company. Yeah. And I think it's got to a point with that sometimes with flat earthers, where I think maybe for the last sort of few weeks or months, I had been sort of questioning it, but I think I probably made 2 videos after that still. And I think my girlfriend even said, like, I can see the twinkle in your eye has gone, and it was like, I had started, I think, to go back and just think, you know, no lie can be this big. You know, there's a lot of lies in the world, of course, but it can't. You know, a lie cannot be that big, and so many people be on it, which they would have to.
Yeah.
I used to say, oh no, you know, maybe the Queen wouldn't even know it was flat, but you know, now looking back, it's unbelievable to think I did believe that. You know, yeah, you know, but I'd never try and force a flat earther into watching me or forcing things down their throat. But like, I think, you know, if you could just take one thing out of this, if you are listening to this as a flat earther, is just start again. Literally start from the start, and just, you know, be a flat earth and ball earth denier, and look at arguments from sources and where I think it's peer reviewed, you know, where someone else has checked someone else's work, you know, and it is you know, proper institutions, and they're not all bad. They're not all Freemasonic satanic worshippers. You know, the world isn't as twisted as unfortunately you think it is. It's twisted, but not. It can't be that twisted. It's spherical, you know.
It is twisted in many parts, and many, like we said offline, there are a lot of conspiracies that are real, you know, and true, and but not this big. But that does bring me to the next question. You know, I often think that to be a flat earther, you have to believe, like I said, in literally everything. You know, you have to believe that academia is rigged and is lying to you, that media companies are all rigged and lying to you, weather companies, you know, seismology, astronomy, everybody, all the governments of all the world. And to me, that would make me extremely paranoid. You know, and it would make me ill. How did you handle that side of it? Or did you not think like that?
I suppose at the time, I didn't really question it. A lot of people around me probably did, you know, and they'd sort of say I'd gone a bit distant and things, because I was just watching so much content. And then obviously once I'd started creating my own as well, I'd do research, you know, but all I was doing was watching other flat earth videos and then basically trying to reiterate what they were saying. But yeah, like, I don't know, it's a difficult one. I've forgotten the question, dude, to be honest.
So like the paranoia, it sounds to me like it wasn't something that you really, that affected you, that you thought about. Because I know some people it would, you know, but it seems to me like it's just, it didn't bother you too much.
I think like me, myself, I'm always kind of, I feel like quite a happy guy.
Yeah.
You know, so, but sort of members, like I say, members around of the family around me had sort of mentioned like, oh, you know, you are sort of suddenly quite hateful of the world around you and very distrusting of anything. And, you know, if someone was wearing a NASA hat or something, I'd sort of point at it and laugh even, do you know what I mean? It literally got to that point where I was like, oh my God, you know, how are they doing that and making money, and all these kids are just buying into it. And, you know, you just, yeah, I mean, it does kind of make you look at the world. Well, of course it makes you look at the world differently. Yeah, but I don't know, it's more emotional now, I think, and sort of like the anger within me to know the deception that is going on, if you know what I mean, because I was deceived and duped. And, you know, so I will have you know, I feel like I'm a bit of a victim at the minute, so I'll probably go for a few processes, if you know what I mean. But at the minute, I feel quite angry. So, you know, I just want to, at the minute, just keep this running, and just go with it, if you know what I mean, because, you know I can't change everything, but even if I helped 1,000 people stop, you know, that would be amazing, and that 1,000 people would then stop another 1,000, you know. So any little thing I can do now to just get this out there, I've just got to do, you know, because I now know I am seeking and speaking truth, you know, so I'm on the right path again. So yeah, that's it, man.
No, that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And like you say, it is, you know, you can help people more than any of us debunkers can, because you've been there, you've been through it. People are going to respect what you've got to say more. You know, people in your position are certainly going to respect that more. Listen, this next question, feel free not to answer it. Feel free to tell me it's none of my business, but I'm going to ask it. How did your family take it and your friends when you went into Flat Earth? Was that and also when you left it, like, was that a rough ride, or were they quite blasé about it?
So my sister, she used to just take the absolute piss out of me, you know, and I'd be like, you know, it's flat now. I can't believe you don't see it. Like, you know, you're indoctrinated. And I'd be showing her like video after video, and she just never would. She would just be laughing at it all, you know. And I thought like, oh, I'm more intelligent than you, and things like that. But she messaged me the other night, like, because she watched your your debunking video of me, and she said she was sitting through it just cracking up laughing, and, you know, especially when I still tried to defend myself at first, and thought like, oh no, you know, I'm going to come back with another video, and then I kind of, you know, I woke up the next day and I thought, right, watch this again, and something just clicked, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like, I was completely wrong, like, you know, and I messaged my sister, and she was basically crying, you know, and it was how emotional she was with it, you know. But then say I'd made my girlfriend a flat earther, so I had some explaining to do there. She went along with it, really, you know. How you have to go along with it, and even, you know, a couple of close friends had started to really question it, but then also I'd lost quite a few. You know, there'd just be jokes being said to me, and I'd get so offended by them, you know, and you know, they'd literally just be sniggering at me and like not really even asking me out anymore. Yeah, so, but I called them the idiots at the time. Well, no one's an idiot, but you know, and I was laughing at them, just saying, well, they're the ones in denial of truth, but quite obviously not. But yeah, my girlfriend was, you know, okay with it, shall we say, but it was yeah, like, I even heard her talking about it to people and saying like, yeah, it's flat, didn't you know the earth was flat? And, you know, so she had just such trust in what I was saying. So yeah, that just shows you how, if you have a little bit of respect for someone, you can suddenly then trust a lot of what they say, you know. And I think, say, Eric Jabay, how he does his yoga, he's a vegan, you know, nothing against any of that, it's all brilliant, but it's putting across this status of like, I do good, you know, and this is what I do. So yeah, it's a mind state like that, I think. But yeah, sorry, rambling there. But yeah, my family, to be honest, I've got a very good family. So like, they've more been kind of welcome back. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're so glad to have you back. You know, yeah. But yeah, like, I can see how very difficult it is for some people. Because it is difficult, and then you're told, like, you go to people, oh, you've got cognitive dissonance and all of this sort of stuff, but you're the one with it, you know. It's as simple as that. It's like, yeah, it's the twisted, everything is turned to reverse.
That's a brilliant answer, and I really like the bit, you know, when you were saying your girlfriend's got the faith in you, so she believes you, but, you know, just like, say, look at these people online who to some people become figures of authority without earning it, really, because they've got that big subscriber base, and because he can speak articulately. It's like, well, this guy must know what he's talking about. You know, and I get that completely. And you know, you take on, you think, yeah, this, you know, I'm going to buy into what this guy's saying. So the next one, now it's gone. Yeah, you have touched on this before, but now the flat, you know, you've left Flat Earth, etc. Do you? Yeah. Because I'd often feel that if I was a flat earther, I'd think there's something magical out there that... I mean, I think the universe as it is fantastic, and there's magical things to find anyway. I think it's great. Yeah. But, you know, if I was a flat earther, I think I'd wake up every morning and think, you know, what is beyond that dome? Who, you know, where have we all come from? Do you feel that something is, like, really missing now? Like, some kind of magic is missing? Or is it like a come down? Or you're just okay with it?
It did feel magical and special, and... you know, maybe in another show we could talk about it, because I personally still believe in sort of creation, and I think a lot of sort of really, you know, it's mentioned, so people are drawn to it that way. You know, you start to believe in a god, because I beforehand was a complete atheist, like before Flat Earth, like I completely. So for some reason, like, it made me look into a lot of other people that talk about that aren't nothing to do with flat Earth, if you know what I mean. But yeah, what was the question again? Sorry, dude, I was sort of rambling.
Do you feel that there's something magical or fantastical missing now? Do you feel like something's been taken away from you in terms of that, something inspiring and magical?
In a respect, but I also feel like something's been given to me as well, if you know what I mean. Like, and that is like a key to the truth, you know. It's back to reality, you know, ground zero. This is where we are. And I used to love Brian Cox. Well, I probably will again now. You know, people like that. Like, I'd love it all. Love it all. Astronomy. I don't know enough about it, but like, it really does interest me. And I've nearly bought a telescope before. Maybe if I had, I'd have never got this far again. But yeah, I'm going to maybe go out, buy a telescope, and just start looking into things, but you know, from my own eyes, and not just believing what people are telling me, you know.
Well, if you do ever get a telescope, there are observations we could do together, because we live at opposite ends of the country, and there are observations we can do of the sky that can really prove curvature. So that'd be great for like a joint collaboration and stuff. But the reason I said, when I was a kid, I had and I can never pronounce it. I think it's sleep hypnagogia or something like that. Have you heard of that?
No.
Basically, it's a fancy word for saying you see things in the dark when you're falling asleep when you're a kid. Right.
Oh, okay.
Like, which is just perfectly normal thing. But when we were young, like, I think I'm older than you, but there was no internet or anything like that, and I must have been 7 or 8. And every night I used to go to bed and I used to see this like a black figure, you know, and and I was convinced I was being haunted, you know. And I got to like 15, 16, and when I started, you know, reading up about, you know, I'm going to pronounce it wrong again, sleep hypnagogia or whatever it's called. I didn't want to let that go. When I realised, I thought, oh, bollocks, you know, it's a normal thing, you know, like, oh, crap. But I didn't want to let it go, because, like, I thought I had something magical there. I thought, I've seen a ghost, you know. Oh, shit, no, I haven't. You know, and it followed all the signs of this hypnagogia, whatever it's called. But for me, that was quite difficult, so I wonder whether it was similar with Flat Earth, you know, letting go of something like that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone wants to feel magical, don't they? You know, so if something comes along and it makes you feel magical, you know, you're going to certainly look into it, aren't you? You know, and if you like I say, if you're in that place, you'll go down that path. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're almost there, because I don't want to get this too long, but just a couple of questions left.
Yeah.
The channel that you put out the video you've put out when you've said it's not flat, is by far the best performing video you've got. You've got a couple of thousand views on that now, have you? What's the backlash?
Yeah.
What's the backlash been like? You know, have you had positive, negative, mixed?
A sort of, I mean, to be honest, 80% positive. You know, a lot of new subscribers, to be honest. So a lot of support that way. And then, I've still got some, you know, a lot of people coming and calling me an actor and a shill. And it's sad that that's the state this has got in, where people are in the mindset to think that there's people out there getting paid to lie about the shape of the earth, if you know what I mean. And I thought that myself. So it's sad now to be called a shill, and to think that I never believed the earth was flat. Because it will always be a part of my life, you know. I'll always tell people, like, at one point I believed the earth was flat, you know, and I was very passionate about it. If you want to go back and look at my videos, at the minute I'm, you know, more bumbly, I think, and can't really put my words together, because, you know, it's kind of like a new thing for me again, if you know what I mean. Whereas it was so passionate for me that, you know, I'm almost offended that people would think that, you know, like no, I mean, there's nobody out there getting paid to lie that we live on a globe. I can assure you that. Way.
So when you were watching then, and you know, because we have that label put on us, you're a shill, you're a paid liar, you're on task, this, that, and the other. Does just like the existence of channels like mine and Simon Dan's and, you know, the whole cohort, Does that, do you think, do more harm than good? Does that drive people further into that? Does it give like a face to the enemy, if you like, or do you think they are useful?
No, I mean, I think I say, I don't want to use the word evil, but it's kind of like, yeah, good and evil, isn't it? If you know what I mean. So you can't just let evil carry on without good happening. Do you know what I mean? So, or you can't let a fire keep burning without the fire brigade to come along. So that's kind of what I look at you guys as, and me as well now, I suppose. Like, we've got to try and put this fire out. I know there's always going to be a simmer, but I personally think Flat Earth is on a nosedive down, and probably because of channels like this. And I don't think many people could stay a Flat Earther their whole life. There'll probably, something will happen, or maybe watch something like this where a certain nerve might be touched, and reality snaps back again. But hopefully so.
That's because I know sometimes I get a lot of messages, not particularly nice ones, and I think, well, do I take a step back? Is it the fact that I mock? And maybe I do mock individuals. I'll try not to. I try and border it on cheeky banter, but maybe that makes people think, you know what, stuff you're wrong, and drives them deeper. The whole kind of aim of Baldy Catz was to be a little bit more direct, but then I suppose I can't do both and be seen as being direct. But yeah, no, it's excellent. Now, last thing, I'm massively, massively excited to see what is coming on in your channel, and I keep saying that, and I'm not going to apologise. That link is in the description because of the amount of good I think you can do. So please, anyone who wants to see the progress, the growth, the videos coming out, click on that link and subscribe. But what are you going to do going forward? Like, what are people going to see on your channel now?
I mean, a lot of sort of speaking with people, really. I'm still going to obviously do my shows. I'm going to try and do like a once a week episode of, just kind of me chatting about what I've learned. But in between that, speaking, like, obviously I'd like to chat to you still, and about, gravity. Please explain it to me, a layman's person that, still thinks as a flat earther, basically. I still don't know how that happens, but and then I will then come back to the channel, speak about it. I just still have flat earthers that follow me, and I know you do too. And there'll be a silent majority there that are actually not commenting at all, but they're just reading. That's probably most YouTube users, and they're the people that I want to try and help, but please come forward and talk. I wouldn't say, I want to debate a flat earther, like that would be a bit silly, but I'd love to even maybe chat with someone amicably, and just sort of just try and, speak to them and see what they think and why they do deny certain things. And from a psychological perspective, try and speak with them, because I know exactly where they're at that time, I
think that's where you like you say, you can be so powerful, because you do know the thought process is, better than anybody. And, I am looking forward to that. And definitely I'm up for doing, working more with you. Maybe we could do a stream on your channel where, you could come up with some of the questions that tripped you when you were in Flat Earth, and, we could discuss the science behind those, that'd be something interesting. But for now, I don't want to take too much of your time. I am massively, massively grateful that you've come on and done this, because I know you're a man in demand. So thank you, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much for that. I hope that things continue to go from strength to strength for you, because no matter what you're saying, this couldn't have been an easy transition. So best of luck with it all.
No, cheers, buddy. Cheers. Thank you very much, mate.
Okay, thank you. I'll see you later. And that is it. Now, this has obviously been a very different type of video to my normal Conspiracy Catz content, but you can rest assured that I will be back, if not in the next couple of days, then definitely next weekend with my usual brand of silliness. In the meantime, you can expect not one but two videos on the Baldy Catz channel, in which I'll be addressing evolution in a build-up to a debate with a certain Mr. Kent Hovine. So keep an eye out for that. Before I go, I do want to say again, thank you very much to Seektruth Speaktruth. and I am really genuinely looking forward to seeing his channel grow and him go to strength. All I've got to say now is, where's my outro tune?
Catz, conspiracy cats. No one quite liking to flatten the flats, so come feel the vibe, like and subscribe, and take off your hats to